CEO Ronald Hicklin from Creating the Difference. Today we're going to talk about the brand new Primal Rage Evolution from Motive. Now what's interesting about this bowling ball is they made a bowling ball like this called the Primal Rage a while ago, and it was a great bowling ball. Good known for back end, great known for just total hook, was a good product for the Motive brand. This one features the Propulsion FYJ Pearl cover stock, which is a different cover stock than the original Primal Rage. It also has the Impulse V2 core, which is symmetric, and that is the exact same core that was used in the original Primal Rage. The RG is 2.55, the differential is 0.050. Because it's symmetric, there is no mass bias. It's finished with 5500 LSP, which is laser scan polish. When we checked it with the CTD surface scanner, it scanned right at 5000 grit. The oil absorption is medium, and it's laid out 60 by 4.5 by 30. I'm excited to see what this bowling ball does because I had an original Primal Rage and thought it was a great ball. I actually put a thumb solid in the bowling ball right from the beginning, which normally we don't do that for test bowling balls. But I'm pretty pumped about this one, and let's go find out what the Primal Rage Evolution does right now. All right, so we got the Motive Primal Rage Evolution. Let's get to this ball review right now. Hey Meta, record. First shot doesn't count, but it struck. Show you that flare. Ring 70. Ring 70. In by one board, out by two boards down lane. Not quite enough, right? Not quite enough. Struck, but that should be good. Ugh. Ugh. I mean, that was a dead copy of the last shot, but it didn't keep going. It's a little smoother than I thought, right? It appears to be a little bit smoother than what I thought. Maybe let's get to some more friction, right? Let's get it closer to the friction and see if that gets to really respond off the friction a little bit harder. So we're gonna go, over here we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 left. Hit the friction earlier. That's in the friction, good. Okay, okay, so that was better. That was better. Okay, you need to be more friction. Ball needs more friction. But now it's making the right shape for sure. That's a good shot. So it's interesting, right? So it will read the friction responsively. When you get it in the oil, it definitely sees the oil more prone to hydroplane. That's not necessarily a bad thing, especially on a house shot. Out to the friction. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as long as you get it to the friction, the ball's gonna be fine. It's gonna respond aggressively. Where you're gonna get into trouble is when you miss in, because you may have it hydroplane a little too long. Just like that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So I got it, that's perfect example. I got it in, more oil, and it wrapped sevens. So if I do that same kind of thing, but I miss left, it strikes, because it will make up that in the back end. You miss in, hydroplane's a little too long, you're gonna do just like that, just right there. That's perfect. Bingo. Yeah. So here's what's interesting about that to me. One, the ball's gonna work for a fair amount of styles. I think the guy who throws it harder, lower rev rate, is gonna have to knock that cover off for sure. We're gonna do that for sure, because I believe if I knock the surface off this bowling ball, I'm going to get more room for error inside and not necessarily lose it being as responsive off the friction. I mean, what are you kind of seeing there, Chris?
I think it's pretty stable in the friction, right? It's one of those balls where even if you hit the dry a little bit, it's not like hockey sticking off of it. It's pretty smooth off the friction, which is good, because that means when you make that mistake to the outside, it's not going to penalize you real bad. You might still get 9, which is acceptable when you throw a marginal shot,
I want to talk to you briefly for 1 second about the sauce. The sauce is a sports supplement designed specifically for bowlers in a bowling environment. What it's designed to do is keep you calm. It's designed to get you that feeling of being in the zone. And lastly, it's designed to give you that focus that you need to be able to hit your mark repeatedly. Now, the sauce is not a pre-workout. It's not an energy drink. It's not a hydration drink. It's a powder that you mix with water. You drink it, and within 20 minutes, you'll begin to feel the effects. That focus will come right into clarity. You'll begin to have that feeling of being in the zone, and easily, you will know when you begin to feel the effects. It comes in 4 different flavors: Miami Ice, lemonade, blueberry, and orange creamsicle. So pick your favorite flavor, drink it, and have a great time bowling.
I mean, I think it's a good looking ball. Reminds me of cherry vibe.
It looks good. The ball is great. See if that comes back. Yeah, it did. What else you seeing, Chris?
I don't know. I think I need to see it a little more for some different spots on the lane. Like maybe throw it a little straighter and let's see kind of what happens if it's still clean and it pushes through and gives you a good read, or what happens.
All right, move left, take the hand off the ball.
Yeah, see, that's what I was scared of. Like, it's so clean that, but you could throw another one, hook it a little more. We'll see kind of how it looks. It's not as strong as a lot of the other balls that are out right now, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it really wasn't that bad for how far left it was in the friction, and it only went Brooklyn, but the motion was pretty stable and like readable. I think you move 3 or 4 and you throw it like that, you might actually be able to almost throw it normal over there.
That's gonna be touchy though. If I'm trying to play that line, that angle, it's gonna be touchy, right? If I don't hit the friction early enough, it won't recover. If I hit it too late, it never gonna pick up.
Yeah, try to keep it on line a little bit, and let's see if getting it down the lane a little bit more kind of helps you to alleviate some of that over-under. Yeah, see, I think that's the bread and butter of this ball. Straighter angles, not too much speed, just kind of like the middle ground. I think that's where it's going to perform the best. I think it might be a good ball for a pattern though.
Oh, I can see that.
Like when they're hard, when it's
I
more
can see that.
friction and they're flatter, you know? It ain't 15-1, it's 3-1, 4-1.
See, I thought that was coming back. I thought it would come back because I got it to the friction, but too friction too late, right? Too late, so then not enough time. Let's break the surface. Let's break the surface. Or I can move in first. Let me try to move in and throw it slow.
Yeah, you can move in. I think that last one was just too early to the friction, so the angle was too much for where it was at to overcome how much it needed to hook. But like, I really think this is a ball for good bowlers. I think this is gonna be a ball they're gonna use on the tour a lot.
Let's take the surface off of it. 1500 grit, true cut. Yeah, so that's aggressive. Get a bit of view of that flare now. Continuous is the shape, even with it surface being broke, it's continuous. I wasn't sure if it was angular or continuous. Now I'm sure that it's continuous.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was continuous just because the way it comes off the friction. Like, an angular ball would have been much more responsive to the friction.
Accepts surface very well. Higher ball speed, immediately puts the surface on the bowling ball, you're gonna be just fine.
I mean, the shape didn't really change much.
Nope.
When you added the surface to it.
Nope.
I mean, I think that's a positive for sure.
It doesn't read too early either, right? Doesn't read it too early. Has a nice continuous shape to it. Predictable. It's gonna be fine. Ball's gonna be just fine. I think it actually matches up a little bit better for me with the surface on it. That whole like over squirt, over push is no longer in play. It's just not in play anymore. That one's farther left. Almost got back. I can live with that. I can live with that. It almost got back. That was probably 3 further left, and it still almost got there.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying I think the ball, you know, is just one of those balls where it's not the best ball, it's not a bad ball, it's a ball that you can use, and if you can repeat shots at a decent clip, you'll bowl good.
Let's go back to the friction. Go back left to the friction. Take the hand out. See how that rolls. That'll be fine, right? I'm just in the wrong part of the lane. It's nice, good getting to a roll. That was basically where I threw the one where I was striking before when it was polished. So that's totally fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I think like you're a little speed dominant for your rev rate, so the fact that you like it with a little surface makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I think the key here is just having some surface changes when needed. If you're rev dominant, maybe leaving it out of the box, leaving it polished. If you are kind of in the middle, you gotta play around with the surface. And that's why we offer True Cut sanding pads, right? It's an opportunity to adjust the surface of the bowling ball. If you don't like the way it is immediately, doesn't mean you give up on it. It means you need to spend some time and get the right surface. This is kind of a great example of that. This bowling ball is definitely gonna be one of those pieces that I feel like a lot of the Motive players are gonna gravitate toward. It's a very pretty looking bowling ball. It's very versatile, and I think you may wanna consider putting this in your bowling bag. Man, look, join our staff if you haven't already. They know about these bowling balls as soon as we can, and they get a little bit of extra information as well. If you don't know about our social media, follow us. We follow up with all social medias you could imagine. And then let us know what your favorite Motive bowling ball is of all time. I can tell you mine is Venom Shock. I'm curious to hear what yours is. And this one is gonna be one that's probably gonna end up in my bag too. So with that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.